Hey guys, welcome back to the Laptop Trader. Again, this is Phil. This is just a quick disclaimer that this video is for informational only. Caution, most stock traders lose money. Please protect yourself at all times. This is going to be a short and sweet video. This is going to have 3 charts on it. I just want to share something with you that happened today I think is kind of important. I'm going to start with this chart here as far as the actual market. So this is a daily chart of the Qs, which is a representation of the market or the NASDAQ index. And we can see on here that the Qs pulled back since mid-December. Right, so we had a high, a lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high pivot areas, lower low, and now we've kind of broken out of that, if you want to call it a channel. Now this channel really means nothing. I just drew these lines on here. That does not support a resistance, but there are some clues that this was going to happen. These bottoming tail bars showed some significant buying, and then yesterday we had a gap up, closed green with a little bit of a topping tail, and then today we had this bar. So basically about the same size as the previous bar, but holding that area for now, kind of bullish. But there's something else special about that bar. I want you guys to just think about what happened today versus yesterday. So I'll just pause for 5 seconds. Okay, let's go to the next slide. So now I want to share with you about this company, NuScale Power, and why I had confidence in this trade. Okay, so I did not see this early on. I did not see it back here. I did not see it back here. I did not see this until it came up on some list or some scan of mine where, you know, it was moving higher in a significant way. And from this line right here, this line, this horizontal line I drew, up to this area, depending where you bought it, would have been 3 to 4 times your money. Okay, that's how big this move was. That's 300 to 400%. Because back here it was around I don't know, $5 or $6 stock, and up here it was around a $32 stock. So that's a big move, right? So this is something, if you see any stock do this, you should pay attention to, especially if it has big volume. I'm talking in the millions of shares traded per day, not, 10,000 shares a day. That's not good enough. We need institutional volume. So because I got in late, this was not a super profitable trade. It was profitable, but I sold up here. When I started seeing these large red bars come in, I took some profits. In fact, I sold half of my position. I'm like, that's a big move. Let's let this retrace against me. Let's not sell everything. Let's sell half and see what happens. So over the next couple months, weeks, whatever this could be about 5 or 6 weeks, okay? It retraces about 45%. So just under 50%, give or take. Again, I'm just eyeballing that between here and here to here. Can you see it? So if this was 100% from this line to this line, I let it retrace against me. It retraces about 45% on a weekly chart, okay? That makes sense. So it's starting to maybe turn around here at this 40, 50% area. That's good. That means people took profits, came back down. Now we're starting to see some renewed enthusiasm for buying this stock. So let's go to the daily chart and see what that looks like on the daily chart. So take a picture of that in your mind. That's kind of what you want to look at. If you wanted to get some big moving stocks, look for big moves, and then look to get in later on because there's money to be made. Now, this is just in a smaller time frame. This is a daily chart over a 3-month period. This is just that big move up from the weekly chart, and then we get these two big red bars. So in my mind, that's probably the end of that big move. These two large bars, right? Those to me are significant. and this bar too, this topping tail bar. Makes a new high, puts in a topping tail, then next day puts in a big red bar. To me, that's it. Now we have to think about, most traders talk about entry strategies, patterns, trends, right? But you really need to be thinking about for yourself, what is your exit strategy? When am I going to sell this stock? So we've talked about stop levels, raising stops or putting in a stop level so you don't get burned, but when do you take profits? That's been one of the hardest things for me to figure out. And for me, if I see a big mover like this, I like to sell half. When it gets to an area on a chart that makes sense for me to sell half, and then I will let it retrace against me. And at first, this wasn't easy for me to do. In fact, I didn't even think about doing it. I just was like, let's buy and sell and take profits. Let's go to the next stock and let's not pay attention. But now that I pay attention to this, it's important. I'll show you why. Because we sold half, we took profits. I essentially have a half position or a free trade that's still a winner. Let's see what this stock can do. So I let it retrace against me. This is a fairly sequential pullback. This stock was pulling back before the general market. This stock was starting to pull back late December in that late November, first week of December. The market didn't pull back till mid-December. So this was pulling back first, giving us clues that the market was probably going to pull back, along with other stocks that I was watching. But this is pretty normal retracement, right? It ends the move with two large bars, starts retracing. I'm holding half a position through this. It kind of pops up a little bit, then it comes down, makes a new low. This would have been a new low. And then we put in a little bit of a wider range green bar. And now I'm looking for clues, right? When is this thing going to start to turn back up? If it's going to turn back up. So we see this wider range green bar. That's clue 1. Next day it gaps up. That's clue 2. Closes towards the top on a little bit higher volume. So that's good. Then it retraces again. Okay, it starts retracing again. So I start thinking about buying over here, right in this area, because we start to see smaller range bars. See these 5, 6, 7 bars right here? How they're smaller compared to like this one or this bar or these bars? This says that this is communicating to me that, these sellers are probably not as aggressive anymore. Buyers are starting to step up a little bit and at least put a floor or some support under this stock in this area. So that's clue 3, right? I just kind of drew that line there. And now clue 4 would be the next right here, this gap up and close green. And then the next day, it actually just gaps up a little bit. At one point in the day, this was a green bar, and then it closed red, but with a higher low. So to see these higher lows, this is a higher low on the close, and a slightly higher low on this close, even though it's red. Next day, it gaps up again, puts in kind of this in-between bar, but closes green, another higher low, so that's another clue. So you see how these are starting to sequentially move up. So this is where I got in, right? I'm like, this is starting to turn, so I got in here. And then the next day, we have a really nice gap up. And it was probably a little bit red at one point during the day because of this bottom tail, but then by the end of the day, buyers left a green bar with a bottom tail and a gap. So that's another clue. Okay, so now buyers are really starting to come in. See these two volumes picking up here? Next day we got an inside bar, little red inside bar, not much happening there. Now, I want to talk about this final bar. If you didn't get in here, and this stock closed today up over 13.7% in a day, how do you catch that bar? How do you catch that move, that 13% move in a day, if you're not already in it over here? Or you didn't hold a position waiting for the next big move up? How are you going to catch this bar? My question to you guys, think about it. Why Did this last bar probably not make your gap list today? Think about it. I'll give you guys 5 or 10 seconds to just study that. Just think about that for a minute. Why, if you weren't already in this stock today and you didn't, why would this stock not be on your list today? Think about it. So that's how this bar closed today. Up, closing at over 13.73% on volume after a retracement, after this little area right here. Why did it do that today? It's not because of earnings, I'll tell you that. It's just because of demand. Plain and simple. Supply and demand. Demand is here for this company. But it probably didn't make your gap list because if you're reading the candles correctly, this actually gapped down. It closed here and gapped down today. It gapped down probably maybe $1, maybe $1.50 or so. Looking at the chart, this range is $5, so probably gapped down $1 to start the day. This probably looked like it was going lower today. So you're probably thinking, oh no, this is probably not going to go higher today. And then buyers just stepped up and closed the day green, up over 13%. So this is one that I don't think most traders would catch, because if you're looking to go long and it's gapping down, why would that make your gap list? So my message to you today is that start thinking about your exit strategies back here. After a big move up, whether you're going to sell your position, sell half, sell a third, sell everything but 1 or 2 shares, because I don't think most traders would catch that unless you're already in it. So the reason I caught this move today was not because of my trading skills. It's because of my exit strategy. It's because I was already in the stock and I let it retrace against me. I held out until this happened. Is this my best trade? No, it's not my best trade ever, but it's something I've worked on pretty hard, trying to control my emotions, iron out my exit strategy so that I could catch these next moves, because I don't think most traders caught that today. That's my message. I hope that helps you guys out. Oh, you should be thinking about what you're doing at all times. And I'll remind you again, if you have a stock either in your portfolio or on your list that's already made a big move previously, like this one has, right? Don't take it off your list. Keep it on your list. Keep watching it, because the next big move may be around the corner. All right, thanks guys for watching. We'll see you next time. This is Phil at the Laptop Trader. Goodbye.